So, this is the 5th RailsConf. Welcome. I think, so it's the 5th RailsConf this year. It's the 10th RubyConf that we're going to do this year. And I realized recently that I've been doing this longer than anything. Do you have the clicker?
I don't have the clicker.
We need a way to advance the slides, please.
Oh, there it is.
Ah, there we are. Got it. I think the only thing I've been doing longer than this is being married. It's amazing. But it's been an amazing 5 years in the Rails community for me, and I think a lot of you have been here before. How many of you have been to a RailsConf before? Great, wow, amazing. So, welcome back. After 5 years, we decided it was time to kind of mix things up a little bit. So this year we brought in Ben Scofield from Viget Labs, who has basically carried all of my slack. Thank you, Ben. So our jobs are to help pick the program, and Ben is going to talk a little bit about how we do that.
So this year, we had a pretty overwhelming response to the call for papers. We had 378 proposals. Out of that, we selected maybe a sixth of those as talks, and we have 85 total speakers from 15 different countries. It's great to see that the community as a whole, worldwide, has sort of embraced Rails as much as it has over the last 5 years. And we've got people coming in from Australia and China and Japan, flying 30 hours. It's fantastic. I mean, beyond that, though, what we like to do with the proposals are look at sort of developing trends in the community. What we noticed were we got a ton of proposals on development process and code quality, things like NoSQL and big data, which you can see reflected in the program. We've got an entire track tomorrow, one room full of just different NoSQL solutions. People are interested in teaching Rails and mentoring. We even have alternate implementations. We got a lot of proposals on .NET and Windows. JRuby is always well represented, as is Rubinius. And then what was interesting is we didn't get as many proposals as we expected on some other topics. So last year, REST and Rack were huge. And this year, we got relatively few. We found some really great ones, and so you'll see those talks. But what was even more surprising to me personally is we didn't get very many talks on Rails 3. And I'm looking forward to seeing what those people are going to talk about and to see how the core team advances Rails 3 while we're here.
It's really interesting to see if the initial list of what we did get as we look through it. You can see the difference between previous years. So we're looking at these proposals every year, both in RubyConf and RailsConf, and it's, as Ben said, it's like the cutting-edge people who are doing these, making the proposals. This year, it really does kind of have a different flavor than years past, though. So, and the flavor is it's all about how to really run Rails in your business and in everyday real work, and not just about kind of playing with technology. So more and more we see, I guess it's a sign of maturity, but it's just an interesting way to look at the proposals.
So we've already done the survey of who's here for the first time, and it was a huge number, which is exciting to see.
I think those are returning people, though. So who's here for the first time?
Who's here for the first time? Which is still a huge number.
It's the same people.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So for this one, who here is an independent consultant? Okay. Who works for a startup? All right. And who works building internal apps for a more established company? So hopefully everybody's raised their hand by now. No? Okay. Who works for government? Okay. So I'm actually really excited to see this, just because it seems like the Ruby community has been very engaged in sort of the open government movement with Sunlight Labs, and we had a talk at Ignite RailsConf about that. I want to see more government people come to these events and get more out of it and take it back with them. Right?
Yeah. Who works for BP? Oh.
Okay. So who's running Windows for developing Ruby? Right.
It's okay.
Yeah. We're glad to see you. Who's running Rails 3 apps? Oh, wow.
In production? Cool.
Okay. And who's running on Ruby 1.9? Okay. It's interesting that there isn't more overlap between the Rails 3 and the Ruby 1.9. Yeah.
So we like when we get all these people, all you people together that are smart and forward-thinking and coming to such a conference to talk about this stuff, to just see who is actually kind of on the leading edge. And there are quite a few. If you're not doing Rails 3 and Ruby 1.9, then find someone who is sitting around you and start talking about it, because now is the time. Especially Ruby 1.9. Rails 3, I think we're going to see it's pretty easy to sort of push everyone there because we have David here to do the Steve Jobs effect on us. Ruby 1.9 will have a little bit of a harder time, though, and it's very much worth pushing forward into. So we definitely want to take a moment to thank Engine Yard. Engine Yard has been here basically every year as the top level of sponsorship. And if you go to any of the regional conferences, they're there. They do an amazing job of supporting our community. So thanks to Engine Yard and all of our sponsors and exhibitors.
And the exhibit hall? Oh, sorry. Speaking of the exhibit hall opens during the morning break, which I believe is right after the keynotes close. Take time to go down there. It's right next to where we all have food. So have food, see the exhibits, get swag. We also really want to thank the Baltimore on Rails community. They've been amazing.
Yeah.
So in room 303 at the far end of this building, that way, right? It's so big I don't even know anymore. There's BoConf going on, which is the Conf of Pleasant Coding. They have barcamp style talks, they have people hacking, they have the community code drive where leading open source projects have their leads and people working on them in there. If you want to contribute to something, go, and there's a good chance that somebody who works on it will be there to help you. Beyond just BoConf, though, we want to call out a couple people in particular. If you need help finding your way around Baltimore or want to know more about the thriving community that is here, check out these people. They've been instrumental in everything from BoConf to the pub night last night, to ferrying people from the airport, to Ignite RailsConf, all of which have been fantastic things. And we're so excited to be in Baltimore, in large part thanks to these people.
Yeah, there's really just as much going on around the conference as there as in the conference, so it's amazing. We were telling them we might never want to leave because they've done such a great job. If you see anyone with a shirt that has this Be More on Rails logo, ask them for help. That is a sign that they want to help you get around Baltimore or find things of interest and whatever. If you happen to have one of these shirts and you're not from here, don't wear it at the conference unless you're going to make something up. Ben mentioned BoConf is way on the other side of the building, so is the expo hall and the lunch. That is so that you will get in shape. So feel free to run whenever you go from here to the other side of the building. It'll make it faster, and you'll be healthier if you do that. Also, if you want to run in the mornings or the afternoons, Jed Schneider is helping to organize runs for people who like to run. If you don't like to run,
he's still organizing it for you, too.
Yeah. Avoid him, because he will organize it for you, too. But there are some beautiful places to run around here, and that's the way to find them.
A few more things to be aware of. We have a lightning talk session on Thursday or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, tomorrow. So if you're interested in giving a short 5-minute talk on something you're passionate about, come to the speaker lounge and sign up. We'll have a sign-up sheet, and it'll be a great session. Lightning talks are always one of the highlights of the conference for me.
Yeah, first come, first serve, which means you want to do it as soon as this is over if you actually want to speak.
Also on Wednesday night, we have the Music Jam, which is being put on by Ron Evans, who you can see here with his identical twins. It's happening after the keynotes, and if you brought an instrument, if you didn't bring an instrument, come and enjoy the things that your fellow Rubyists create.
And Ron has actually rented, with his company Hybrid Group, he's rented a bunch of music equipment, including extra guitars, bass, PA, drums. If you don't play music, then come along, but maybe have some drinks before you come in.
So that's tomorrow. Tonight's evening keynote session has Yehuda Katz, and it has Greg Pollock's Ruby Hero Awards, which we're always excited to see. For the last 2 years, he's been doing this, where you all nominate and vote for heroes in the Ruby community. So definitely come out tonight and see that. And a couple of announcements. So I don't know if any of you are aware, but there were some announcements in California yesterday. And they were very exciting to people who were here. So the Wi-Fi got a little hammered during the Steve note. If you could refrain from downloading large files or torrenting or playing World of Warcraft or anything other than what you need to do, we would appreciate it. And finally, if you could take the time after you attend sessions to go back and rate them on the O'Reilly website. You can see the little average rating box there. It helps speakers, it helps the organizers, it helps everybody get better at what we do, which is sharing information. And I think that's it.
Yeah, so now we want to welcome David Heinemeier Hansen to the stage.